What's going on?
I am disconnecting the sensors from the front differential.
Got the axles out and everything?
Yeah, so one of the axles was a bit of a problem. The other one popped out. You can use like a little, got a little pry bar. Just be careful whenever you're messing with them, because you can, like I did, you'll kind of dent these up a little bit. They're basically just little shields. It's not the biggest deal if you do that, but you should try to straighten them back out a little bit if you really ruin them. This one was the one that was a problem, and I just simply couldn't get it pried out. So this is a, what they call this, a slide? What?
A CV cooler?
CV cooler, so. Yeah, our good friends at Nitro OffRoad, it worked really well.
Handy rope is what he calls it.
It's all about product placement. You see how subtle that was?
That'll be $100.
Yeah. So basically, you just wrap that sucker around the axle once you get it out just a little bit, and you get your maul. Slip it through here, and you can use it to jerk it out and put a lot of force on it to get it out. Oh. Back starts. So, those axles are out. Now we're going to take the whole differential down. You're going to do that by taking these bolts out, both here and here. And there's a third bolt, well, actually 2 more bolts here. I prefer to leave this little bracket right here in place. You're going to take a bolt out on the top side, cameraman. As you see here, these are 17s. And you're going to take another 17 out right here. So, when we do that, we'll be able to bring the whole differential down and out, and we got to replace on our new differential. You'll see it's not the same shape, so we've got to take this tube, this arm off, and pop it on the new differential there.
And you disconnected the rear drive shaft already?
Yeah, I did that in preparation because you took forever to get back from lunch or watching a movie, whatever you were doing. I went ahead and disconnected the drive shaft, and that's another important thing for the front diff. Disconnect your drive shaft. It's a 14mm bolt, 14mm head. You're going to need 2 wrenches. I used an impact. It was super easy from this side, so that makes it nice. And you can spin this on the back. Unless you remember to keep your truck in neutral as you lifted it off the ground, you will not be able to spin this because as it's attached, the transmission is in park. So just be aware of that whenever you go to take this off. It won't be as easy as just spinning it so you can get to it as nicely. I feel like my voice is getting gruffier. Gruff?
Rougher.
Gruffest.
Because you're becoming a weathered man.
19 fit. Get in there. Freaking power steering lines. See, this is all the stuff they don't show you on those other YouTube videos about how to do this. Like how much of a pain and
Yeah, all it says is take this bolt out.
ta-da,
Instead of
done.
this is how you take this bolt out.
Right. Okay, so, and this is even with all the tools that we've got. It's still a pain in the ass, so if you like tackling this on your own, be prepared for some shit.
But come to Southern Style OffRoad if you want it installed.
That's right. Come to Southern Style OffRoad and I'll deal with this.
Okay, so I've got a stand under the differential right now. I've already removed these 2 17mm bolts in the back. So when I remove these 2 bolts up front, which is the 19 on top, 22 on the bolt head itself, the differential is going to want to drop down. So that's why I've got this, whatever the hell that thing's called. Nice. Really helps for a set of power tools. And even if it's one of the... There it is. Even if it's one of those little pancake compressors that you get that only holds a couple gallons, man, you could still get, with the same tool here, you can still get all the force that I've got with my 50 gallon or whatever, 80 gallon. So it'll just take a little bit longer for it to fill up. But those are some important tools to get if you plan on doing this kind of work. Otherwise, you're just going to be, it's going to take you far longer and you're going to be worn out. Ugh. Sprayed me.
So you're supposed to have eye protection.
Yeah. Yeah, kid. Do as I say, not as I do. Wear your eye protection and all proper PPEs at all time. What happened to my nut? Oh, okay. Come on out. Come on, let loose of it. Okay, yes, but now that the bracket is removed, that was the diff breather. You can see here. Look, come look. That bracket. You can see that up there. Come around this way, cameraman. Come on. I think you ain't never changed that differential before. You see that bracket? That's what I just disconnected. It's right on the very top of the differential using a small 12mm head bolt. And that way, that removes it from there. You can remove the diff. All right, so now with a friend or at least a subordinate, go ahead and get the jack stand out the way.
Damage your control.
And you're gonna want to tilt the differential forward and then just bring it right down.
In theory.
Oh gosh dang it. More brackets, put it back. We discovered a new bracket on this side. It's been a while since I replaced the differential. Apparently, or at least on the Tacoma, there's a bracket here. Look over here. You also need to take off from the top side of this side. So you've got a bracket on both the driver and passenger side. They both use a 12mm head bolt. But then there is also still one more connection right here. It's just a plastic clip that you need to remove from the differential or it will cause headaches as well. There you go. Now it's finally ready to remove. And this is the point where on those other YouTube installation videos
Where they come back to where they're continuing with the job.
yeah,
They cut out like about
all the parts are screwed
45 minutes ago. They cut that out.
You got it?
I do got it.
So you got it?
I got it. I got my side.
I'm about to let go on my side, so that's why I'm asking if you got it. Can you
Do I
get the
got your side too?
There you go. All right, I'm gonna go to the store. You want anything?
Yeah, I'd like
Hand?
a what?
A hand?
You're
Yeah,
not
I got
fine.
this.
You're not fine.
You ruined that.
Stick to photography.
I was about to place an order.
And
I got my side. Go get off of my side.
I'm waiting for you to come down more. There we go. And this is the front differential. Put it right here.
Ow! Cast. Oh, metal.
Drip all over my shoe. Also, don't wear your good shoes.
Time for a new pair of Skechers.
I was ill prepared for this thing. Are you ready?
Say action.
That's how I know if you tell me.
Action!
So apparently my mechanic keeps this can of unnamed
Chicken noodle soup.
chicken noodle soup because laying it sideways is the perfect height for a Tacoma differential and setting it up right is the perfect height for a 400 differential. Is that right?
That is correct. It's exact. As
So,
you can see, no more oil.
No more oil has been leaking out since he put the full can of food. Not a used one, so.
I just haven't eaten.
Only the best.
Haven't eaten it yet.
So because you were once again not here, I went ahead and broke it down, but for the viewers, I will explain what I've done. God dang, like, so this is the stub that you need to take off your old differential. It only fits on there one way. You can see it's got a specific bolt pattern. And you can also kind of see the gasket, right? So this is how it was on there. And these star-headed bolts here go in from this way. So I actually removed this arm, the mounting arm, because it was easier for me to get my impact with an extension on there. You didn't have to if you just wanted to wrench on it by hand, but you do have to remove the other mounting arm off the differential itself so that you can replace it on the new differential over there and get everything mounted back up. So that's exactly what happened since Grant's been gone. So now we're draining the rear differential, and I always like to take a look at. God dang it! Let go. All right, well that's stuck in there. I always like to take a look at the fluid that's coming out. You check it out. You're looking for like little specks. This is really, really clear. This looks like it was relatively new. So So no issues currently, that's good. So probably the easiest way to go about getting the gears that you need for your vehicle is to contact our friends from East Coast Gear Supply. They will put together an entire third member or pumpkin for you and just ship you the entire core. And their policy is that you'll just send them back your used cores and you get your core refund back. So this allows you to just simply pop one out and pop another one in, leaving your downtime at a minimum. We opted for the Nitro gears. It's the same ones I'm running in Megalex, so I know that they're good. And East Coast Gear has an impeccable customer service. So if there are any ever issues with shipping, damage, anything like that, you know that they're gonna take care of you without a doubt. This is day number 2. Back's no better, but I did change my shirt at least to a darker color, so that's a good thing. And we have reassembled the front differential. We put it back in place. We still need to, you know, button it all up, put the axles in, whatnot. But I went ahead and started on the rear, and the rear axle is obviously quite different from the front. It's a solid axle, so you're gonna have to do things a little bit differently here. You do still have to disconnect the drive shaft. Just let it hang there gently, it's all right, don't hit it. I already took the shield off and disconnected the plugs for the rear locker. And this is where some instructions would have you take off the drum, disengage the emergency brake, then pull the axle out, because you've got to get the axles out of each end of the differential here in order to pull the pumpkin out. And I found that the easiest way to do that, instead of messing with the emergency brake, because that is just a total pain in the you-know-what, is to remove the brake lines and your plug for your speed sensor. Remove this bracket up here to give yourself some more slack on your emergency cable, and then you can simply just pull the axle out just like that. Do that on the other side, and then once we're done with that, we'll take the diff off and pop the new one in. Okay, so after you've gotten both axles pulled out, remove these 14mm nuts, and don't forget about the washers. They're kind of difficult to get to, but if you pull the differential out, they'll go spilling across the floor and you won't find them all, I guarantee it. So make sure to get those. After you've gotten all the washers and nuts off, the studs, you can, I was lucky I was able to get with this one just in my hand. Pop that seal loose. You might need to use a rubber mallet or something like that. So, like I said earlier, we went with the Nitro gear package that East Coast Gear Supply put together for us, and you can see how much thicker these Nitro gears are compared to the OEM gear set here. So you got a increased durability there just from the thickness of the steel alone. So once you've got your new gear set from East Coast lined up and ready to go, put your new gasket on, and then with the help of a friend, slide that sucker on the studs, and we'll put the axles back in. All right, guys. So after you get the new assembly put in, you just need to guide your axles. You're gonna have to hold it right here and pivot so that you can get the end of the stub into the differential down there. Just kind of be patient. Feel around. There it is. Retorque everything down. Reconnect your sensors, your brake lines. You're gonna have to bleed the brakes, but believe me, doing it this way is gonna cost far less time than having to take apart the entire emergency brake, because those are a real pain. So anyway, after you're done with all that, make sure everything's buttoned up, torqued down, and then you can put it on the ground once your tires are on and everything. I've still got to put together the front, pop the axles back in the differential, fill it with some fluid. I think it's 1.8 liters in the front, closer to 3 liters in the back. So make sure you have at least 5 quarts. Get 6, you never know. And then we'll do a review afterwards with 529 gears in the 2016 Plus Tacoma.